Hello, it's Etharal here, and today we are back with our Crusader Kings 2 Warhammer mod, where we have been playing as the Skinster family in Middenland. We had some interesting situations in the last episode, where we have had, shall we say, a rather large force come to try and rebel against us, and then had a nice big orc force to move into our capital as well. So, you know, the Skinster's in a bit of a delicate position. What we've done, we've managed to, however, assemble all of our guys with a, shall we say, very decent actual commanders and everything like that to be able to actually, thankfully, force, first of all, the Goblin Horde out of our capital. Feel that that's probably the best one that we want to go for. That's the main focus one. We need to get that one out of the way first. We do, however, have these three actual revolts that we need to get out of the way as well. So they are going to be some interesting ones. These ones are going to be the ones that may be a little bit hard to deal with. You know, they are going to be somebody that, you know, they do outnumber us. They are men. Thankfully, they don't have generals though, so, you know, hopefully that should mean that we'll be able to actually take them down with a little bit of ease. It's probably going to be a bit, you know, not 100%, but, you know, we can try, certainly, at least, as our forces do move in to take them down. It does look like that these radicals, however, do get a boost by some extra ones, when, unfortunately, Emperor Peter does pass away with pneumonia. However, his son Baldwin the Third Skinster does manage to take the throne, and so there we go. That is the end of Peter. I believe it might be the second now. I believe, yeah, he did not last long, unfortunately, and I think he only ruled for a couple of years, sort of thing, and then has left the throne up to his son to try and deal with. So, good luck there, Baldwin. You're going to definitely need it, I think, for this one. So we're going to switch everything around a little bit and basically try and get as many of these rebellions crushed as quickly as possible. You know, stabilize internally, and then usual thing, what we have been trying to do, focus on getting our vassals so that they aren't too annoyed at us and they're not going to be starting any factions for independence or anything like that, which is a pretty common trick that does happen around this time, especially with me being underage and everything like that. But on the plus side, if I manage to get to, you know, actually being a full adult, we have got another actual lord who's going to, you know, emperor who is going to probably last for a very long time. So here we go. We've managed to, well, hope to get it down to 2, when unfortunately second one does come, so we seem to be getting an awful lot of revolts at the minute. There are people who are not too happy with us taking over, which is less than ideal, but, you know, luckily they are only sort of, you know, they're only peasant revolts and things like that, so they're nothing too much that we can't handle. It's just more of an annoyance than anything. It does seem as well then, by sheer luck, that we haven't had any factions started as well. Not quite sure why that one's happened, so really probably should have got those factions at some point before now. So, you know, that one, interesting one there. We'll see how that goes and see if that does keep up. Yeah, just going to get everyone set back up with educations and everything like that to be able to start developing these guys, particularly myself. I want to try and get myself to be as good, you know, benevolent, kind ruler as possible. I really do want Baldwin the Third to really, you know, take it sort of far for the actual, you know, the Middenland. Middenland's been going on for a long while. We've been very slowly expanding. I'm really hoping that this is going to be sort of the emperor that puts, you know, Middenland on the map. I mean, Middenland, they already are on the map, to be honest. They are pretty much the biggest, but we want to be, you know, this guy to be the one that really brings in the goals, you know, and really sort of hits home for exactly what it is we're looking for. At least that's, you know, that's certainly what I'm hoping for, and he does seem to be doing a reasonable job to begin with. You know, he does manage to bring all of those actual revolts down, so that's a good situation for us to find ourselves in, certainly. Now, past that, however, we do have then to start to deal with making sure that we are getting this army back up. You know, our army, you know, is, well, shall we say, less than ideal, when we do find out that, there we go, there are those factions that we knew would be coming. So those factions, you know, we've got an independence faction and somebody wanting to give our sister the throne of Middenland. So sister the throne, that one certainly, that's not going to happen. So we're going to look at trying to get this guy, and we send him some money, we give him a title, we get everything we can to get him to like us as much as possible, so that way he's, you know, not going to be willing to sort of go, you know what, actually no, I'm going to demand this sort of thing. I think it should go reasonably well, although this guy here, yeah, not looking too happy. It's yet again the lands surrounding ourselves are the ones that apparently they are determined to try and retake the throne. The Todbridge family, you know, Todbridge, they've now been sort of 2, 3 emperors past sort of has gone, and they still haven't managed to retake the throne. They do still have all the land around around Middenheim, but they don't have Middenheim itself, and they don't have the throne, which is something that, trust me, we're going to make sure that it does keep too. Here, just having a bit of a look around, sort of having a look at seeing how the sort of everything is playing out in the world. It does look like as well, my guy is, he's getting some decent traits, there, he's just picked up diligent, he's kind, he is quick, he is unsightly and weak, so he's not very much physically, but who he actually is as a person, though, certainly is a good one, so that is probably going to be the focus. This guy's not going to be, fighting any wars himself or anything like that at all. But, he's going to keep going. He's going to hopefully be able to become an adult, and we're not going to get knocked back here or anything like that. It does potentially happen sometimes, in these sort of games. You can lose the actual throne and be knocked back to being a vassal, which is not something we want, especially, when we've came from these heights. We've gone, father to son, father to son, father to son, all the way down through the first line of succession for the actual Skinster family. And we are really hoping that the Skinsters are going to keep growing in the way that they are. The Skinster family, they are really an institute now in Middenheim. They own a lot of lands themselves. They own, they are actually quite important people, and they will continue to be important people, I think, even if we were to lose the throne. But their aim is not to lose the throne, of course. Their aim is to keep it, to expand their lands, and make sure that they are actually getting as far as they possibly can, trying to unite the goal of the whole of the Empire, which is looking like that one's going to be a very long slog. We'll probably be looking at a good couple of centuries, to be honest, if we do even have a chance of actually being able to get to that point where we are on the throne itself. And then by that point, though, once we become the true Emperor of the Empire, then I think, we're going to have to look at pushing north and showing those, Chaos Worshippers exactly what we do think of them. But looking around, I'm trying to find here very much, the aim is basically to get the Baldwin to be getting allies as much as he's able to. He's looking at trying to arrange some betrothals between his brother and sister and the various guys of, the Empire to hopefully be able to bring Taberland, Avaland, Reichland, ideally as allies to us. We're probably, we're not going to need them all as allies as such, but, certainly trying to bring in a couple of allies isn't, going to hurt, not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. We still can't claim, in marriage into Reichland. Reichland being that there are still people of the Skinster family who do have a claim on the actual Reichland throne. And so I think we may actually have a weak claim ourselves, which can only be pressed if somebody else was to declare wars and things like that. But regardless, there is still that option there for us to be able to maybe one day even reclaim Reichland. Not going to happen, I don't think, in the, the way we wanted it to, but you never know, we can still hope. So, yeah, we've got a lot of options there. We need to make sure that we make some allies as well. We apparently have 10 allies, although I suspect those are going to be a lot of people that we can't really call into wars, as they are our vassals and things like that, so they're not really going to benefit us. But, we do need to have some external ones as well. We do want to be able to bring in foreign powers to be able to help fight if we do need it. Would love to get, like, Britannia again. They've forever, been our ally, for as long as certainly Peter can remember. Baldwin and that before him, Baldwin and then Peter before him, got them the wrong way around. Britannia has always been an ally, and it does look like actually Britannia is starting to claw back a little bit from the Orcs down the south, so, they may sometimes, may be able to go back to their former glory, which be ideal for that one. I'm not obviously holding my breath on it, but you never know, it could maybe one day happen. Obviously, if you do want to see that happen, do be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. You get your notifications for when new videos are coming out here at EGN over the coming weeks, months and everything like that. So here, just having a look around, making sure that all of our vassals are as happy as possible. There are some vassals, again, there's still that independence, they're at, 24%, so they're not, a massive threat at the minute, but it does seem like, and I have no idea why, normally there's, as you will well know, I imagine, if you've played this game or having seen my actual ones, oh, there we go, this guy is once again trying to, do the plot to try and get it so that our sister does become the actual Empress. That's not going to happen, but yeah, we seem to have been, pretty lucky at the minute. Baldwin, he should have probably really had some more, factions come up against him than he has had at the minute. That one to lose the actual throne, it is a dangerous faction. It's right up there, right in the middle and the top. but for the most part it doesn't seem to be threatening us as much as it potentially, maybe could. Now, that is, a really good situation to be in. We're in reasonable situation. Things could be better, but that said, at the same time, they could also be a lot worse. So we'll have to see how everything goes and try and keep track of that. As, Peter does grow up, he is, becoming a decent guy. He is kind, as everyone mentioned, he's diligent, he's brave now as well. So, he is in a good position to be able to hopefully really unite the Empire. That is, the aim for this guy. He does decide as well, though, I am going to actually look at trying to marry him outside the Empire. I've talked about it a few times with Tagara and other ones down in this peninsula, well, not quite peninsula area, but this offshot area down by Bretonnia. We are finally going to bite the bullet. We are going to marry into one of the queens down there. And the main reason why I'm going to do that, though, and the plan behind that one, is that if it is a case that, Middenland was to collapse under us and, we would lose the throne up in the north here, then we can shift our focus, we can give that bit of insurance to be able to still be classed as a king, emperor sort of thing. However, we'll just have to move our focus down south, and that's not what we want, obviously, but, knowing that we have that option to be able to do it, it could be something that happens if needed be. That little bit of insurance is, a good sort of situation to find ourselves in. I think it's something we really do want to very much keep going with, just in case, like I say, something was to happen untowards in the north, and that guy with the dangerous faction was to get his wish of putting my daughter on the throne. Sorry, not my daughter, my sister on the throne. I would like to know why he is wanting to put my sister on the throne. I think I possibly betrothed her off to one of his sons or something like that, which, I could believe that might be the reason why I do it, get her onto the throne. She's betrothed to his son. There you go. The Todbridge family now, once again, will take the throne of Middenland, not Middenheim. Always will be getting that one. One day I will manage to get those without a problem. And so, there we go. We now have another war to fight. So it's safe to say that the early years of Baldwin have been pretty, busy. So what we can do, we're going to, rather than just, auto-raising everything, we're going to sit down, we're going to actually work out all these, going to call this ally into arms, as he is, part of Middenland, and he does have a vested interest in it. But we are going to assemble up a force here, a good 4,000 or 5,000 men. I think that's a decent sized force. We'll try and, pull in a little bit more, though, just to bring it up to, there we go, over 5,000. And then we are going to get these all, pull them all together, send off that force, and then we will deal with that other orc horde that is coming and showing its teeth. I think it's safe to say, though, they're not going to be all that much of a threat or anything like that. And they, checking that out there. So yeah, we are the third skinsters to sit on the throne of Middenland. I'm now just starting to get Middenland and Middenheim and mushing them together basically at the end there. So this force now, nice and good together. We're all ready to pretty much go with this war. We are managing to, we've managed to hold up against them, certainly over in the east. And, that castle they're trying to besiege, we haven't managed to, we haven't lost it yet or anything like that. So that's a good sign. Although, regardless, we do still have, a little bit of ways to go before we can actually look at definitely saying they are not a threat or anything like that, or anything, at the minute. So we're going to pull them round, and there we go, we've actually had an ally who's shown up as well, so that is a good thing. There is our count, and so there we go, that is going to be the orcs. That orc force is pretty much done, although, we're going to leave this force up for a while. We are going to pull them further around, and that guy for the dangerous faction getting worryingly close to being able to rival us, so, we're not going to allow that, though. We're going to have to make sure that we do stay nice and strong, so we managed to remove that host from our lands and then get these guys down to begin looking at replenishing our forces, so that hopefully we are actually going to be in a decent position. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today, so thank you very much for watching the Shattered Empire episode here at EGN. Do be sure to subscribe for all future videos and leave a comment below if you do have any advice for me. I shall see you next time here at EGN.